Hi, it's Rachel Rose here from Workshop Muse. I just wanted to pick up on this thread that we've been exploring, this notion around finding a window of insight into ourselves, and this kind of fancy thing that I'm talking about around arts as a way of knowing, a way of understanding ourselves, and that it's totally legitimate that you have probably intuitively felt it, probably maybe even experienced it and known it, but it hasn't really often been validated in our Western world at least. So, in my experience, in my training, in my education, and my research that I've done, I've really dug deep into this notion of arts as a way of knowing, as aesthetics as a way of knowing, the beautiful things in the world, the way that we express ourselves, expressive knowing. And I kind of stumbled onto it as somebody who was just intrigued and felt like, yeah, this feels like a fit for me. This resonates with who I am and what I've known in my experience. And what has been so fascinating is to see that, yeah, I'm not alone. There's people around the world, there's different cultures, there's different ways of being in this world that really validate and understand this way that we have marginalized, that we've stopped ourselves, that we've oppressed ourselves from using all parts of ourselves to express ourselves. We really pride thinking, talking, analytics in the Western world, at least. And so this notion of arts as a way of knowing, of the mindful art journaling, of tapping into parts of ourselves that have been suppressed and dulled and put down from very young ages for many of us, is really about having a back door, having a window of insight into ourselves and tapping into this knowledge that's like locked inside of us, just waiting to come out. So in the mindful art journaling course and in a lot of the other work that I do and a lot of other work that people do in arts based research, education, therapy, all of those sorts of things. It's all about having that little back door, bringing that part of ourselves out and welcoming it into the world, knowing that there are certain things in this world that we just can't put words to, that we can't express without shape, line, color, texture. And when we don't use those expressive tools, they stay dormant. It stays within us. So I want to give you a little example. I promise to give you a little bit of a way to think about this. So I want you just for 1 second just to close your eyes and just think about something that you really love. Maybe it's a person, maybe it's a pet, maybe it's a place. Just take 1 second and dip into that love. Feel it, think about it, bring it to your mind's eye. Now, if I were to ask you to just write 1 or 2 words that really capture the essence of that warm, gushy feeling that you have around the love that you just tapped into, what would you say? 1 or 2 words? That's probably really hard, is what I'm going to guess. It'd probably be really hard to name and express the feeling that is so rich and so deep within us that is love. And what I would say is that if I were to ask you to dip into that feeling of love and then move to shape, line, color, texture, all of these other expressive mediums that we have, you would come much closer to making sense of and being able to share and express the depth and the emotional kind of charge that exists within us in those feelings of love that we have, and other emotions like anger, sadness, those sorts of things. So this is what this is all about. This is about, instead of using the limiting parts of words or our brain cognitions that are so hard to do, it's about bringing forward and encouraging ourselves to make sense of our experiences, of all this stuff that's going on inside of us in this expressive way. And in the Mindful Art Journaling course, this is really what's at the core of what we're doing. I just want to share with you a really quick image. This image of this little fish and this writing that I've done here. This came for me out of this exact process that you're learning, the mindful art journaling process. I went in, I just started making shapes, I just started drawing, I just trust my intuitive self, and all of a sudden these beautiful little fish emerged. And I thought, I was very curious in the moment. I thought, what are these fish about? What is this all about? And then I started to do the writing, and then I realized that it was about love. It was about that kind of nuzzling, that like kind of fitting and connection, and the touching and the softness and the movement that was happening with those little fish was really about me and my husband. And what emerged for me in the writing piece of it it's this reminder to like be close, to like kind of do the movement through life and through the days together, and don't forget to kind of be close and have this kind of touching piece happening. So just a really small insight, but something that emerged for me in this mindful art journaling class. So I look forward to sharing more with you in a few other little snippets and seeing what happens for you as you progress through the mindful art journaling class.